I'm Margaret in Windsor, and as you can see, it's snowing here. It's supposed to get even worse. I'm going to close this. Let me close this. I want to say a couple of things. Sometimes when you're hit in the face directly, and it hurts, because I always cared too much for people, really. I felt their pain, wanted to make them feel better. I've been defending myself when I'm the victim in this whole mess. And I can understand today where there were going to be things made up. Let me just cut to the chase. In mind control and programming, in hypnosis, if someone sees a hypnotist in front of them that somebody tells them that hypnotizes you, or they can snap their fingers, they can tell you to see this and that. But what people don't want to know is they can do the same thing only in programming, changing behavior and programming people to do things they would never have done. This is what I've been telling about. I mean, I saw one instance where the person was on the street and they were hypnotized to, they thought they were seeing their fiance, I believe it was, and told to hug them. They were hugging a lamppost. So people can imagine, and that's part of this. They make you imagine. You can do it in dreams, just like John Lennon, Imagine. Just like in the O.J. Simpson, where I believe it was his cousin that worked for the L.A. Police Department and tried to say that they made him dream it. Oh, and that was to what happened to her, his wife, or ex-wife, Brown, Nicole Brown. It's been a while, I've forgotten her name. The point for this is that I cared very much all my life, and I haven't lost the feeling, and I never want to, of caring. But I've seen enough, and I guess it's time to go. I just hope it's to a place where I have some peace, and I'm not dead, and but around people who care a little bit, at least about me and what's happened to me and my children. I hope my children would be there with me and safe and sound. You know, I think of Scott Peterson on death row, and if the truth is not told, he'll be executed. I'm going to leave it there because right at the moment, Timothy McVeigh, I put up here where the U.S. Army, he stated that, and then there's put a chip up his buttocks, and he was programmed, and the Oklahoma City bombing blamed on him. And he was put to death. So I stand here today, and there was a movie, I won't say it though. I'm not going to say anything else. I cared about people. I never want to lose that. But I don't care for the abuse and lies that have been said about me when I'm the total victim. I am a good person, even if I am the one having to tell it. And it's so sad to find out that people really have had a joke about me and made up lies. And I hope, quite frankly, that they talk about God and everything. He's the only one that can. Maybe it's not making things right, you can't undo it, but punish people. And I really hope that he does. I sincerely hope he does. Now I'm sure people will find fault in what I've said just now. I didn't deserve any of this crap. And today it's finally hit me really like a ton of bricks. Exactly, things going on I was not aware of. And this is the reason I was putting this up, this video up. Two, because this is one of the mind control murders that happened some time ago, and I mentioned it the other day. And what happened to me in Yellow Cab earlier on the 3rd, when I come back from getting a few groceries, etc., I wondered if this happened to Morgan Harrington. I'm going to go ahead and put her name up. Her family are real prominent. The media will talk to them, which they don't give you this information that I'm giving you. I'm so tired. I wonder, I didn't find out that she had actually gotten into a taxi. She was locked out of a Metallica concert, I think in Charlottesville. That's what I understood, and the media reported. And then somebody told me that no, it happened at the Virginia Tech over in Blacksburg. I don't think that's true. It was Charlottesville, because that's where Mom and Dad went back all these years and placed flowers and things there. She got locked out somehow, and something happened. She couldn't get back in and couldn't get to her phone and all that. I did not know that she had gotten into a cab until recently. And I have to wonder how the Jesse Matthews went to prison in Fairfax, Virginia. He's in jail now. He pled guilty. He doesn't know about all this, and they won't let it into court. And quite frankly, anymore, I am not concerned anymore. I've never got thanks for anything. I've got call names, and now I can see the truth of what people... I'll leave it at that. They weren't my friends at all, none of them. I'm talking about here, not on Facebook. I'm talking about here. Roanoke, back in Huntsville, the cover-ups, back in Atlanta, when my husband went with me, and her ex-husband, he's supposed to become, gets a little confusing to me, all the mess that went on in hell. Anyway, what happened to me, and I'm told I might not get a ride again with Yellow Cab, that I put this up, and then I got a call back that was strange from people who should be protecting me. And I want to say this. With what happened to me, I don't know if it was hypnosis somehow used, because it was like the record that was being played up front that I just assumed was on the radio. Suddenly it was switched back to a speaker in back of me, really loud and vile and vulgar. And the last thing I remember is trying to reach forward and tell him how evil he was. I went out. That's the last I remember. The next thing I remember is coming around here. So there's time in there, time lapse. I don't know what happened. And I'm coming, he's driving, and I'm in the back, and I'm waking up, coming to, out of what happened to me. And I remember something I said that makes me think he did. And that's what makes me sick. That makes me very sick. And I'm putting this up here because it happened. I hope and pray he did not touch me, violate me, because you've got AIDS and everything else going on. And this is the odd thing. Back in 1980, I was writing about AIDS and the Center for Disease Control, and you can create an illness and cure it. And the fact that they were taking, Ebola hadn't been invented, but they were taking AIDS and all this to South Africa. This is from the Tesla files that were stolen back in 1930. And you can cure an illness or create it. And I'm not going, there's a lot of other things that were stolen. And oddly enough, I found out later, not long ago, that the Tesla files were supposed to have been stolen by, first of all, John George Trump, which is the, Donald Trump is now president, and that was his uncle. He was an MIT professor. And supposedly he had stolen these records, and here I am writing about them, and now then the FBI is supposed to have had them, who I guess I wouldn't be alive here. The Brits are the ones that kept me alive, and Germans, but some Americans. There were very few. Most of them have gotten their kicks out of what's been done to me. I've lived it, I know, and today brought it smack dab in my face. I guess I was concerned about, and this is a real reason for putting this up. If someone can do that to me, there was a slight smell in there, but not one that was that I knew was really making me sick. It was when he transferred the song to the back and it was blasting me. I never heard it before in my life. And all I remember was trying to reach forward and tell him what a sick, and that's the last till he pulled in here up into the street that I live on. And it's what I said when I was waking up that really concerns me. Now, if they want to get mad at me, yellow cab, and deny me a ride, that's up to them. I told the truth. I want to ask you, did this happen to, I'm going to go ahead and say it, did this happen to Morgan Harrington? How she couldn't fight back? How was it done? I don't know. To me, it was a type of hypnosis. I didn't detach. Someone, a nice lady, thought it sounded like detachment from what was happening. I can't tell you what happened. What I can tell you is it shouldn't have happened. I know that my purse was open. My phone, where I called Yellow Cab, LOA, out of airport up here. They have an airport limo that for some reason LOA uses. I know I called for them to pick me up. They'd brought me down, they would pick me up. Now that was deleted, so he had access to this phone. When I tried to find it to get the timeline between the time I called them, this man does work for them, and supposedly he's worked there 16 years. He has a stellar record. You've got a record of me being so abused by this country, telling this about mind control and the crimes committed against me, and I use a Hustler magazine where Larry Flint endorsed me and helped me in a campaign in '83 when I was writing about mind control and the murders. My question is, if it's that easy to do this to me, what happened to her? Morgan Harrington, did this happen to her in the cab? How did he subdue her, other than he probably locked the doors, but subdue her to where she didn't even know what was going on? And that's, to me, would be something that was given to her. I didn't have anything to eat from the time I left here, and to put it more accurately, since that's required of everything I say, or they try to make something out of it, I had coffee at 6 o'clock that morning here, and I had nothing else. So it wasn't anything given me in a drink or food or anything. It was something to do with the tape and hypnosis, or there was some kind of smell. It wasn't that bad to me that I really noticed it. So it didn't just happen when he put the friggin' tape on the ugly, sick, vile crap that poured out in the back next to my ears and blasted me. I don't know what the man did. I hope to God he did not violate me. I hope and pray. So they would all gang up on me. Is that it? Now, you think that I would go on, if I was given the chance to testify in any of these to clear some people, because Jesse Matthews, that got her in the cab and everything, was programmed to. Do you think I want to go on, continue helping people who hate my guts? No, it woke me up today, really. And there's something that I said when I was coming around to the street, and there was this time lapse that I didn't know what happened, that I said something that really concerns me. I said it out loud as I'm waking up, and I said, it really bothers me. Whatever he did, he had no right. He got into my purse. There was no money taken. I had double vision. Couldn't make a phone call to get my phone because it was going to be cut off. I had to call and have time put on it, and I couldn't see the numbers. And I went up to the front desk, had her write it down in big letters so I could come back and do it. I still had problems. I was disoriented. I couldn't find my glasses, and I found them in the couple of bags of groceries I had left sitting there that this SOB put at my door here, because I had an incident with him about a year ago where he reached over. He wasn't in a cab. I had called a cab. You expect to get the cab. And I know in the past they have used unmarked cab, the person's personal cabs. So I guess I'm going to stop because this has done me no good. It's consumed my life. And all I did was care for people. Some people aren't worth caring about, believe me. Anyway, I'm wondering about after what happened to me there. He had access to my phone, which meant he had to, my purse is, I'll show it to you. I always put it around my neck, because what little things I have are in there. I've been stripped of everything, and I always put it on my neck. It's too heavy to just fall off here anyway. So that had to have been taken off of my neck and replaced. What was the other thing that was done? The phone, okay, the glasses. No way was I sitting in that little remote that's for the elderly for about 35 minutes, I guess, at least, after I made the phone call. And then when I got back here, it was 12. By the time I got in here and made the tried to get my prepaid on and telling her, and then tried to make calls. It was 12:15 to report it. Well, of course, I can't prove anything. But I found my glasses when I was trying to put my groceries in. I had some fish. I was afraid it's a little bitty fridge, you know, you can't put much in it. But there'd been some time lapse sitting there waiting, and then whatever time was taken in what happened to me. I don't know what he did. I hope, you know, it's bothered me because I think, what if this man had AIDS? What if he really did? And he's a prominent cab driver here in Roanoke for 16 years, so my word's no good? Well, if my word's no good, then if I'm ever called to testify on behalf of any of you, I won't. They can put me in jail. I'm through. They can say, we subpoenaed you, you have to. I'm not going to. I've put it up here. And what have I got? What I'm getting today here. Anyway, the man put my groceries, I told him to, outside the door, and I went in because I was groggy. I knew something had happened. And this man, a year ago, a little over a year ago, he reached over, he had a console, and if you want to call it pinching or taking the upper part of your leg here, and then when it shocked me and I moved over. I'm in a position there because I think I was up coming off the Arcadia or something, I don't remember, or the Appalachian up there in that Blue Ridge Parkway or something, away from anybody. So I didn't say anything. I didn't report him that time. It wouldn't have done any good. It's not doing any good now. And so my thing was, I was called, and I'm going to go ahead and put it up, by LOA, who I reported it to because I thought, is this the way, it occurred to me, is this the way Morgan Harrington died?